I have a question about the relaxing of attention and abiding as the self in order to recognize and familiarize myself with that. If I understand it correctly, and I guess that's the question, relaxing the attention from objects, but myself is qualityless, so attention can't attach to it. Do I understand correctly that then there is no attention and the mind has no role to play in this?
Yes, attention means awareness directed towards an object. So awareness cannot attend to itself. It cannot pay attention to itself because there is nothing objective there to pay attention to. But for the same reason that the eyes cannot see themselves because they are too close to themselves, there is no distance from your eyes to your eyes. So the eyes cannot see themselves. You cannot attend to yourself because you can only attend to something that is at a distance from yourself. So as the attention sinks, as it were, inwards, it loses its limitations. So, and when you go all the way back to awareness, awareness cannot know itself or does not know itself in subject-object relationship.
I think there's a kind of a struggle that my mind is still involved in trying to understand or to bring together. The relaxing of attention at first seems like an action as opposed to the cessation of an action. Okay, so it's just a relaxing, that helps. Not paying attention to anything objective. And there remains a sense of, I guess, still having to do something. I think that's getting in the way. Is that
If you ask yourself a question such as, what is it that knows or is aware of my experience? What happens to your mind?
It fades.
Is that fading an effort of your mind?
No, that's exactly a cessation of activity.
Yes, so this question is a very powerful question because the mind cannot find the answer to that question in any object of experience because you'd immediately ask the question again, but what is it that knows or is aware of this object?
I think I suddenly realized, I don't know if this makes sense, but this cessation leads to something that's always there.
Yes, or even more direct than this question, ask yourself the question, am I aware?
The same thing.
What happens to your mind then?
It needs to fade, or at least be somehow bypassed.
Yes, in order to answer the question, am I aware? In order to answer yes to the question, am I aware, we have to go directly to the experience of being aware. But we don't have to go there. We are the experience of being aware. So being aware becomes aware of being aware of being aware.
So could it be as simple as that all of this mind activity, self-referential thought and stuff is exactly the thing that draws us away? It just has to stop and we're home. That's how it seems. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is it that simple?
Yes. Yes.
You're being fooled.
All these years.
What is it that remains when the activity of the mind ceases?
Me.
What is it that remains when you turn the movie off? The screen. When everything that can be removed from you is removed from you, what remains? The essential you. The essential, irreducible you. Don't go looking for that. You cannot find it. It is too close to you.
No, I see that. I see that.
You can only be that knowingly.
Yeah.
And we are already that, but most of us are that unknowingly, without recognizing it. So awareness, has dreamed this experience within itself, located itself in this body in order to perceive that dream, and in doing so has shrunk itself into the frame, the temporary local frame of a body. And it feels imprisoned. It longs to go back to its fullness, to its wholeness, to its natural condition. I don't mean to suggest that it's unnatural to manifest the world. I mean to its original condition. But its original condition is not something that is foreign to it. It's not at a distance from yourself. You are always only infinite consciousness. But you have lost yourself in your own dream. So it's not even true to say you have to go back to yourself as if you have left yourself. No, your own dream takes place within yourself. You have veiled yourself with yourself. You, consciousness, have veiled yourself with your own creativity and lost yourself in your own creativity, but you have never ceased being yourself.
And the funny thing, it's all one thing at the same time.
Yes, your own creativity is only yourself, is only a play of yourself. So the self-inquiry is a kind of unveiling of consciousness. Consciousness veils itself with its own activity. And what we call self-inquiry or meditation or prayer is the unveiling of consciousness until it stands revealed as it essentially is. And the hint in each of our finite minds of consciousness as it is the knowledge I am. That is the knowledge I am is a trace that God has left in each of our hearts to remind us of His presence. So that is why the thought I, it's why Ramana Maharshi's version of self-inquiry was the question, who am I? It's why Nisargadatta's formulation of self-inquiry was focus on the I am. Take the thought I, go to the experience to which you refer when you say I am. That is a portal, as it were. It is the means by which the mind is gradually divested of its limitations and stands revealed as infinite consciousness. That's why I am is said to be God's name, God's presence in our hearts, the light of consciousness shining in each of our finite minds. That light of consciousness is accessed through the knowledge I am. That's one of the ways. It is also the knowing that pervades the entire mind. So it's not just a portal. You could also take the knowing. God's presence is the knowing that pervades all experience. That is infinite consciousness shining, not just in the background of our finite experience, but in the midst of our finite experience.